With every day coming to an end, we draw closer to the August 9th general election, but the question on who's going to be president still remains a mystery. Prof, the question for today, who do you think is going to become president of the Republic? And even before you answer that question, how will they become president? When I ask how will they become president, I'm asking on William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Start off with Raila. How does he become president?
Raila Amolo Odinga will be the president of the Republic of Kenya by being voted in as president on the 9th of August in the year of our Lord 2022. I put his percentage at around 58. And that day will prove me right. He becomes president by being voted in. He becomes president by convincing Kenyans that he deserves to be their president. There is no other way.
The question on how he will become president, I didn't mean by people actually voting him. What
Yes.
are some of the key factors that he needs to put into consideration during the left time?
You know there are things Raila has to address. First, Raila is a popular leader, goes without saying. And an overwhelming majority, an overwhelming number of the votes Raila gets, he doesn't get because he has campaigned or he has organized to get them. People just love him. So he needs to go beyond the love. And he should also now he's sharing that with Ruto. Because he has never shared that with anybody. He has been the people's candidate. He has been the anti-establishment figure, a darling of the voter. So that even those who don't vote for him because of tribe, something in them tells him that is the guy I would have wanted to vote for. And even they hate themselves for thinking like that. But now he's sharing that with Ruto. Ruto is also loved by the masses. So now he must know that that love he has always had and challenged, sharing with nobody, he has a competitor for the love. And therefore he must now go a step further and have his campaign more organized than it has been before. He needs to move into a structured approach to his campaign. Number one. Number two, there are many people who want to vote for Raila. But the narrative in the country is that Ruto is winning. So he must work to destroy that narrative. He's winning. Raila is winning. But you know, you lose a few people, or even they don't even vote. They think, Ruto amekimbia na hii kitu. But the numbers are his. So he has to work on that.
Okay. Now the deputy question still remains a key question that needs to be addressed within Azimio One Kenya. Now, how does Raila answer to this question without and still maintaining a good relationship within his members?
It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult. I don't envy him. Choosing a running mate has never been this difficult. Because this election is very, very competitive. Very, very competitive. And unlike the past elections of 2007, 2013, and 2017, the country is not divided in a very clear way so that you have support from either side now. That makes it very, very difficult. Because it's not like Huru and Ruto had Rift Valley and Central. Raila had Western Nyanza and Coast. It's not like that. It is like Ruto is in Western, is in Coast. Okay? Raila is in Central. He's never there. He's in Eastern. So it's a very difficult situation. And what makes it even more complicated now, the choice of running mate. There are people who are expecting nothing less. So if Mount Kenya is not given running mate,
Likinyanjo actually said that they're expecting nothing less of a
yes,
deputy
it
position.
makes it very difficult for Huru. How would Raila make Huru's work that difficult? By giving somebody else. Yet, by not giving like Kalonzo, you know you are losing certain obvious votes. You can see how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And it has a bearing on the final tally.
Okay, Raila's trip to the US was cut short after the death of the former president, Mwai Kibaki. Do you think now this is the time to be traveling to other countries for Raila?
Politicians do that all the time. The politicians weigh what is good to them. If going to America adds something to their campaign, they will go. Even if it's just 3 weeks before, they'll go. If you get some money from there, I'll go. If you get goodwill from the people, who will call people back home. And I had Mother Karua telling people, you don't just have one vote here in the diaspora. Call people back home. You have a lot of sway at home. Tell people to vote for Raila and something like that. So they will go.
Okay.
Nothing stops them.
Okay, from where you're standing, how strong is Azimio One Kenya able to carry out campaigns in the absence of Baba?
We saw when he was in the UK. You know, he has a strong team. Because we have said this repeatedly. He has all the kingpins. What is so difficult with Joho running a campaign? In fact, Joho is a darling of the people. What is so difficult with Orengo leading a team to go and campaign in some corner of this country? Or Paranya? Oh, they are more numbers than they need. They have more. They can continue if Baba is in America, as if nothing has happened. Of course, the Baba magic is also required, and he can't afford to be away for long. Okay. Even without Kibaki's death, he wasn't going for more than 10 days. It was about 7 days, because he knows this is a critical moment.
Okay, now let us switch gears to the other side now. How does the deputy president move from being a deputy president to a president?
The only chance William Samoei Ruto has of being president is to pray that Raila does not win the election, does not lose the election. Because this is Raila's presidency. So you can only pray that he loses it, so that you become, because you can't win it. Ruto cannot win the election. He can become president because Raila has lost it. Yeah.
We have talked about...
So Raila has to lose this election for Ruto to be president. That's all. And it's a question of blunders Raila can make. There is no way, there is no pathway for Ruto to the presidency. It's not there. I have looked at, I also take time to reflect and to think and to look at the numbers. I don't just open my mouth. I look at the numbers, I reflect, I think, I look at patterns. I understand this country. When I say that in 2017, people say, oh, he didn't win. But I ask people, what happened? We saw in the Supreme Court. You can see there were things that happened. Raila was going to win with more than 54%. This time he's winning with 58% plus. He could hit 60. You know why?
Okay.
By June, it will become clear Raila is winning. And then you'll see how people troop. Bush will change his mind. He'll say Raila is winning. You get what I'm saying?
I'm getting.
So Ruto can become president if Raila loses the presidency. Loses, no. Makes mistakes. Very obvious mistakes. And they have made mistakes. Raila has made many mistakes in the past. Many. Many from 2007. In 2013, monumental mistakes. If in 2013 Raila had just concentrated on nothing else, not even campaigning, just on ensuring he had agents in the Mount Kenya region. Remember, we had just come from the post-election violence, and ICC was in town. Anybody would have been safe in any corner of the country, irrespective of who they were. You could come to Niluo Nyanza, and you were a Kikuyu, protecting Uhuru's votes. Nobody would say anything to you. Because of the ICC, it was still hanging in this country. It was in town. And therefore, Raila made a very big blunder by not concentrating on taking agents to Mount Kenya. Because he should have learned what happened in 2007. Judge Kriegler told us both sides were stealing in a very stupid way, stuffing ballots. Kibaki and a staff around Mount Kenya, Raila and a staff in Western Kenya. So what I'm saying is, such mistakes, and they are there. In 2017, the biggest mistake, other than that was also still a mistake. Because they said they were going to address the issue of when they came up, adopt a polling station and a pay bill number for people to raise the money so that they man all the polling stations. They didn't do it. Yet they knew it had costed them 2013. They repeated the same mistake. Mistakes of that nature can be repeated. They also made the mistake of not having a structured campaign, so that ODM never let go of the NASA campaign. It was still in charge. So they have to, those are some of the mistakes they have to control. And finally, if Raila does not address the issue of the narrative and the perception in the country, peddled by people like Bush, that Raila is losing, he has to control that, because human beings want to relate with winners. You get it? So he must handle that narrative. Much as he's winning, the narrative is so strong in the country that Ruto is winning. Not only winning, but unassailable. that will have an impact on the voter turnout and on actual voting. So those three things to me can hand Ruto the presidency.
Okay, now apart from that, what you have said
Yes.
concerning Bush and other people who are actually thinking like Bush,
Yeah.
from how you're reading the political atmosphere, what are some of the other blunders that Raila can make that will hinder him from becoming the president?
There's not much. There's not. That has to be normal things people do. A campaign has all its faults and missteps, mishaps, collisions with the people. Sometimes you are annoyed, you utter a bad word, you lose a friend. Those are normal.
Okay.
Because a campaign is a very heated exercise. And you make mistakes, pronouncements. You shout at somebody, and it's not your son or your child or your wife or your husband. So those are normal mistakes. But those three, to me, are so major that unless they control it, you must be able to control, rather to know where your vote is and take charge. Make sure you know that you got 10 votes in this polling station and they remain 10. In fact, in this area of IT, nobody should wait for the national tally. By 6 o'clock, everybody should know their tally. And Raila must make sure this time he knows his tally by 6 o'clock. In other words, he must man all the polling stations. Okay?
Okay.
And he must run a structured campaign. And he must dismantle and destroy the narrative that William Ruto is winning. Period.
Okay, let's wrap up the conversation with that. Prof thinks that Ruto only wins the election if Raila loses the election. I don't know what you think. Feel free to share with us on the comment section. Till we do have the next big question, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.